Today we're going to make pajama bottoms. I already had started, but not that far down the road. So I already have mine cut out. We're using M8160. This is for McCall's. We can use the same process for pajama long pants, but we're doing shorts. But if you have a different pattern, you can use the same process, is what I want to say. So this is the front, and here is the back, okay? It will look more like this once you get it cut out, but then I want you to turn it. Put your pins in, because this is the front. Put a pin in it, in the middle of both parts of your front. Turn your good side in, and then you need to go to the machine and sew. Pin, go ahead and pin it, this curved edge, okay? And then sew right along here. I've already done mine, and so it should look like this once you get it completed. So this is the front, and this is the back. Same thing with the back, just along this curved edge. This is what you sew, about a 3/8 inch, right around here, all the way to the end. Leave this side open. This is the back. Leave that side open. You're only doing this side of the front and the back. So go do that. Then we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. This is my front sewn. What you might want to do is along this seam, go and give it a nice press. And press your seam well, because you'll need to press it to one side, either to the left side or the right side. Maybe not, let's not press it, because it might get confusing once you do the waist. So we'll just leave it like this. But anyway, lay your front down and get your back piece, which you have sewn. And we're going to lay it with both the good sides facing each other, like this. Okay. And this time you're going to connect the two and sew along the sides, the straight sides on both sides. Okay, just these two sides, just these two long sides. Down there and down here. Go ahead and pin it if you need to. Pin all the way down your long side and then sew it. Go to the other side. Pin all the way along, making sure that your dots and things match as much as possible. See, that's close enough. Sew along here, and then let's come back. Okay. Now it should be looking pretty much like a rough pair of shorts at this point. You've got your outside sewn, and you've got the middle sewn. We're going to go down here to this bottom area. Find your two centers that where they meet in the middle here. Pin those two together. And when you sew this area, go over it 2 or 3 times, because this is gets a lot of wear and tear on your pants or shorts. So we just want to make sure that it holds while you wear it. And then go along and pin all the way across. On both sides, because you're just going to sew across. But always start when you're going to pin this area. Always put this together first and pin out. it will flow properly. And you see how this doesn't quite line up? Don't worry about it because we can trim it when we get done. Or it'll be hidden in the hem. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Okay, so once you got it pinned, go ahead and sew. Everything is a 3/8 or a 5/8 hem. But when you get to this middle piece, go back over it, 2 or 3 times. Make sure it holds. So let's go do that, and then we will be back. All right. So we're back. Now down here in this crotch area, I did open up my seams. I want you to get your scissors, and we're just going to clip to the seam, not over the sewing you've done, but we just want to open this up. Again, this is just to make sure that your garment will hang properly, so that it can curve like it's supposed to curve. Don't, you're just cutting. I don't know how I can make this. I'm not going to cut on my seam. I'm just cutting to the seam. Now, if you cut over your seam and you cut that open, then you have to go back and sew it. You don't have to go all the way up, but just where the curves are, I would. On both sides. Let me just do that real fast. Okay. Now what we're going to do is hem the pants, hem the legs. Going to get this about 1/8. Now, before we get started, if it will make you feel better, see how it's uneven? Go ahead and even it out if you want to. Just cut it, even it out. And then let's just do an 1/8. Fold it over once, and then again. Okay? Didn't have my pins over here. And then go ahead and pin it. You have to go all the way around and do this. Go over once, then again. And pin it. It would be good if once you get it all pinned, to go and iron it all down. That'll make sewing it a lot easier for you if you want to do that. Pin it and then iron it and then go ahead and sew it. You're going to do both legs like that. But I'll show you one more time. Hopefully you can see it. It's about 1/8 of an inch, folding over once, and then fold it over again, and then pin it. Okay. Yep. So that happened. Here we go. Tuck it under there. I should have pinned it closer, but it still worked out. Okay, so you're going to do both legs. You're going to go around both legs. I'll finish up going around both legs, and I'm going to sew the hem down. So you go do that as well, and then let's come back. All right, good people. We have the legs done. Okay, they're already hemmed. Very simple. Now we're going to do the waist. Okay, the waist is done similarly, except these parts where our seams came together, you need to, when we pin them, when we make our casing, make sure they're all facing to the left, okay? Because it's like this. When you get to this part, face it to the left and then fold. So that when you put the elastic in it, it's much easier. And they all need to face the same direction. That's why we're doing it to the left. I'm going to start over here. It doesn't really matter where you start. We'll do a small one and then flip it. You need to do at least 1.5 inches. 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Just going to do a quick measurement. Mine is about 1.5 inches. And then pin it. Because our elastic is 1 inch, that's why I said give it about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches for your casing. And just as you go, keep measuring to make sure it's the same all the way around. And notice for this part, where that seam is, I pushed it to the left. That's why I didn't want you to open it earlier. Okay, again, about 1/8 of an inch first, and then you fold it over again. And this part should be about 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Pin it. And when you sew, just like down here, where you sewed, hopefully at the edge here, same thing here. Don't sew in the middle. You're going to sew right up on the edge, all the way around when you do it, right on this edge that you just folded over. I'm going to remember to push this to the left. Come down about 1/8, and then down again, about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and pin it. Okay? Now, before we go away, there's a section where we began here and here. I'm going to put 2 pins here, close together. And the reason I'm doing that, excuse me, is that so that when I've gone all the way around and I've come to this green pin, I need to stop so that I can have a space to feed my elastic in. And if you sew it all the way around, then there won't be any place to put your elastic in. So I'm going to start here with my red pin, go all the way around. When I reach my green pin, that tells me to stop. Okay, so once you've done that, let's come back. Okay, so now I have the waistband casing in. We're on the home stretch now, guys. That's a really big wide opening left, but what you will need is some elastic. Measure your waist or the waist of the person you're making it for. I'm making this for my daughter. Hers is about 30 inches. So I cut 30.5 inches just so that I have enough room to sew when I get to that part. So I have her cut. You'll need an oversized safety pin. Pin it to one end of your elastic. Fasten it. And then, because we turn this to the left, our seams to the left, we start on our left. That's where we feed it. Now, before I start feeding my elastic in there, I need to pin the other end of the elastic to the pant that's on the outside. This is so that it doesn't get lost in there when you're pulling, because you're going to just slide it all the way around. See, my pin is in here. And make sure you keep this straight. Okay, so keep checking it as you go. I'm just drawing it in there, and see, I went through that no problem because it was folded. I'm checking to make sure that my elastic is straight. I'm just gathering it through there. Okay. Let's see if I can do this quickly while we're together so that we can do the final step. This is really a very simple thing to make. Once you've done a couple of them, you might go slow, but after that, you'll be whipping them out. They make very nice gifts, family members, friends. I'm thinking about pairing it with a pillow, making an envelope style cover pillow. I might include that in a video. We'll see. Depends on how long this is going to be. Keep stretching it out as you go. So here I am back at the beginning. Okay? So what I will do, this part that I had pinned, making sure that they both are still straight. I'm going to go to my machine. I'm going to sew across here, okay? A lot of times, 3 or 4 times. And whenever your last time is, you know, do a zigzag here. You can just sew across here 3 or 4 times, then do a final stitch with a zigzag connecting the ends. And then let's do that, and then we'll come back. There's one more step, but I don't want to put all of that in here. I think you need to see it. Okay, we're back. Final step for this part is where your seam ended here. Just continue it all the way down to where it ended on the other side. Now we're closing the casing. You can remove all your pins. And try not to sew on the elastic that's on the inside. Stay on this edge, away from the elastic. And just do it where this was at the bottom, all the way across to meet to the where you started. Let's do that. Okay. And we're all done, guys. Okay. So you see everything is done. Nicely done. I still have my pins here to let me know that this is the front. Now what some people do, so that when they put on the shorts, they'll know. Some people get a button and sew it on the inside front, so they'll be able to distinguish it. And some people sew an X on the front, so they'll know that this is the front. So, or you can leave it blank. I leave mine blank, but I know some people may be saying, well, how do I know which is the front and which is the back? Well, that's how you can know. And that's why we keep the pants in here, so that when we're done, you'll know where the front is. So, or you can get a permanent marker, but I don't know about the marker, it might bleed. But I know you could just sew a button on here, which would be real quick. Just sew a button on there. And so every time you put them on, you would know that that's the front. Or you can do an X. Either way is fine. Hope you've used straighten out your elastic so that the rubber parts is even all the way around. I'm going to turn it right side out. Very nice. Very nice, very easy. Simple project. All right, go ahead and give it a try. Bye for now.